Okay, we are recording. Right, hello, this is Lady B. This is probably the first official burlesque chance. We've sat and done one of these before when we were gearing up for the Rare Groove show, which you were in. Well, one of the Rare Groove shows. So we basically just want to have a blather. I need to pick up my car from the car park in 10 minutes, and I hate editing, so this is going to be a 10-minute conversation. So, how about we kick it off? What's the funniest thing that you've ever seen on, or while you've been performing, or while you've been backstage, or something inappropriate that's happened while you've been performing that's slightly funny and you can share on camera and I'm not going to get kicked off YouTube for?
And you want us to do that in 10 minutes?
Yes.
It doesn't require editing. No comment.
Shall I start off?
Go on then.
So we were performing at FHQ in Glasgow years ago. So we were on the nightclub dance floor with booths all the way down the nightclub. So FHQ, female headquarters, it's predominantly a ladies' gay nightclub, which is great. Until I was doing my routine, instead of being in the middle and just dancing to everybody, I thought, I'm going to go to all the booths. Smart arse here. Gets to the last booth, lady makes eye contact with me, and the next thing I know I see her hand going down the front of her trousers. I'm like, yeah, I never went back to her booth again for the rest of the night. That's probably the most gross thing that's happened, and I know that one of the other shows that a few of us were performing at, a guy did get flung out for doing the exact same thing. Right. Yeah.
I did hear someone bringing in a box of tissues because he misunderstood what.
Oh my gosh! I mean, at least they wanted to clean up after themselves.
Neat and tidy. Yeah.
That's why man-sized tissues.
Yeah. But they're now not calling them man-sized tissues.
But that's why they should be called man-sized, because I think that's why they were originally called that.
I just find it very useful for hay fever.
Yeah. So now that I've taken the conversation to the deep dark depths, let's bring it back to a nice place. So, what's one of the best things about performing in general? Doesn't need to be specifically about burlesque.
About performing, for me, I always feel like there's two separate sides of me. Like there's real me and then there's Mama. And I always have these sort of, I mean, everybody does it. Oh, I feel really crappy about my body. Oh, I look a bit fat today. Even if I feel like that during the day before a show, as soon as I get off on stage, I am like, you will love me, and you're lucky to love me, and I love that about that. So after a while, that sort of feeling that Mama has is like it bleeds into my real life. So it really does enable. I mean, all that talk about good body confidence and self-esteem and stuff like that, it really is true. It's a cliche because it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Scarlett and I have spoken about this before. So for me, when I first started, Lady V and me were two completely separate people. Now they're one and the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's coming for me and Mama as well.
Yeah, and I think it's true whenever you create a character. I think you feel or you've said that you feel the same.
Scarlett and the other me were really opposite ends of the spectrum, and now we're
closer to the middle.
I'm kind of the opposite. I think I've actually, as a person, I tend to have more confidence than what Autumn does.
Really?
Autumn's confidence is getting there now. But before it was all, I have more confidence in myself out and about, you know, near at clubs and things. But when I get on stage, Autumn's terrified. She's not as outgoing as what I am. But she owns it and she still does it. So she tries.
It's
she's
the same
sitting
with
there.
Vixen, and it's like I'm still building up the confidence. For me, my favourite thing is just the utter freedom you have of just losing yourself in the music, because the lights blind you. You can't see the audience. But it's loud enough that you can just immerse yourself in the music, and that's the best feeling in the world. To just forget about everything and just dance.
I know that when I first performed my very first performance, I asked my husband to be front and centre, so that if I get too nervous, I could just see him, and it was fine. And he did. He got in the chair and pulled it forward and plonked himself down. And after the show, he came up to me. He's like, "Did I help?" And I'm like, "Honey, I didn't even see you."
He sat there with the biggest grin on his face the whole time we were on stage. And when somebody spoke to me afterwards, all you could say was, "That's my bar." That was the first thing that came came out of his mouth.
Yeah, it was, and so you're completely right. As soon as the music goes on, you lose yourself, and I didn't realise that for my first show. But it was, the lights went on, music went on, Mama was there, and it's brilliant, absolutely beautiful.
So how do you find it blending in with the storytelling, with the sign language? Bringing that into the performance side of things?
I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's given us a really good opportunity to showcase sign language as a whole, not just for me, but for the audience, but as kind of global things. The more and more people get to talk about it, the more they see it, the more they see interpreters, the more normalised it becomes for deaf people. So it's an absolute privilege to stand on stage and do the sign songs.
Yeah, and I think as well, because of the nature of what we do and the shows and stuff we do, inclusivity is such a big item for us, and I think whenever we start to stop just thinking inclusivity is about how someone looks or presents themselves, it's about how they interact with the world around them. So when you start to take it down that route, then it becomes, it's not just a show, it's an immersive event.
And absolutely.
And what's amazing about watching her is that it's the depth and breadth of emotion that you can portray, because a lot of people think, oh, it's just that person in the corner of the screen just signing. There's not a lot of emotion there, whereas when you get up on stage and you sign to the songs, the depth of emotion is just beautiful to watch.
Well, like what you said earlier on, you just couldn't keep your eyes off it.
Yeah, just mesmerising. It's a performance in itself. And it's beautiful. It's so wonderful.
Definitely about accessibility. It's like, I think there's so much misconception about deaf people not enjoying music. And it's like, well, you've got varying degrees of deafness, to profoundly deaf to slightly hard of hearing. So some of them will be BSL users, some of them will be new to BSL because they're losing their hearing. And that's one thing we're starting to see, is that more and more younger people losing their hearing because they're going to clubs, they're going to gigs, they're not looking after their hearing. So that's one thing that, you know, we've got to try and promote, is that, you know, you look after yourself as a whole, but you need to look after your hearing as well.
Absolutely.
But it's interesting as well from a disability point of view to bring that into a show as a really normal thing.
Absolutely.
That shows like this, like any of our shows, are open to everybody. There's none of those barriers to say that if you're deaf, you need to be your own
interpreters. Absolutely.
You know, I mean, those barriers are taken away without the audience having to do that for themselves.
Absolutely.
And it's not like, because somebody said to me in the run to Cabaret School, what if no deaf people come? Like, doesn't matter.
No.
You don't wait until somebody in a wheelchair wants to come to your show to make sure you've got an accessible venue. So why do we wait until there's a deaf person wanting to come to make sure we've got interpreters?
And also doing it this way, it's not like, unlike a lot of other events, you know, where it draws attention to it, but in a way of singling them out. Here it's like, no,
it's
this is
just part
of the makeup of
Absolutely.
society.
Like at Christmas when you had everybody singing. That was so wonderful. I loved that.
There were tears shed.
And actually,
it was
it's really
amazing.
unusual to get a group of adults willingly joining in with something
Absolutely,
like that. Because a lot of the time we did that audience participation.
Absolutely.
And it's not. It turns into something really, really nice, and they come away having learned something.
Absolutely.
And shared something.
Absolutely. And that's what it's about, because sign language is for everybody. And the more and more people learn as hearing people, we've got to recognise our hearing privilege. And the more barriers we start to break down, then the deaf community will accept, and they will come forward, and they will start going to more shows.
Because they'll be able to.
Exactly.
So you guys have a show coming up soon?
Yes.
Up in December, up at the Deaf Hub in Dundee.
That's right.
1st of December.
That's right. December.
Saturday night, Deaf Hub. What time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Burlesque and Cabaret, mixed venue. There's a bar, don't worry. There's a bar. So just to wrap up very quickly, because I'm going to get a cracking ticket if we don't do it. So, quick round the chairs. See if we can see around the room, but round the chairs. So I'm Lady V. I'm performing now for, this is my 11th year, which is frightening. And I've got one on YouTube and stuff like that, so you can follow. You're obviously following the fact that you're watching this video, but you can find me on other forms of social media. Our next lovely performer is
Vodka Von Da Rox. I've been performing since 2012, I believe. I made my first burlesque debut, and then went into retirement to do the BSL songs.
And then next up we've got
Mama Silverside. I feel like shouldn't say I've been performing for 5 years because I was off for a wee while, recuperating from, sort of. I was still making costumes and things, but yeah, I've been performing for 5 years now, which seems crazy.
Yeah. And then our next lovely performer.
Autumn Pyre. It used to be Trixie, but I took a break, came back, revamped. Rebranded. So I've been doing it for 4 years, but I just came back recently after about a 1.5 year break, and I was taught by the lovely V.
And our next lovely performer.
So I'm Vixen Von Foof, and I've been performing, oh goodness, 5 years as well.
And then our lovely performer at the very end. Because she's been performing longer than me.
Scarlett Flame, and I'm not going to tell you how long I've been performing because it can't possibly have happened.
It has. It's at least 1 more year than I have
Can't be
admitted
that
to.
long.
It
You're
is.
making it up.
No, it is.
It can't be.
So this is why I find it really funny when this lot are like, oh, I'm a new performer. 5 years. No, you're not.
I've been performing for 12 years. That cannot be true.
No. Right. Well, Scarlett hangs her head and drowns herself in coffee. Love to everybody watching, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.